Hey babe, good morning. Happy Mother's Day. I know right about now you're probably thinking, what in the Lord's name is he doing? What kind of mischief is he in? And the rest of you are probably thinking, oh my gosh, it's Slot Hubby, aka Alan, and he's probably going to show us some awesome high limit video. But nope, that's not the case today. I am going to share with you a little story about my biggest jackpot ever, and that's you, babe. Happy Mother's Day. I figured since we did anniversary cards in the middle of Walmart and put them back on the shelf and went to Reno for our anniversary, and we've done pretty much everything else for our anniversaries in our lifetime, I thought, why not try YouTube? Something different. We've been out in the open. People are learning more and more about us, and I want to share a little bit about you and the strength that you've had our entire life with our supporters. And I thought it was a great idea. You might not think it's a great idea, but it's too late because at this point it's already uploaded and people are watching it and probably commenting on it. Anyways, Danielle, you're amazing. I love you. You are my rock. You're perfect in every way. God created you just for me, and I know that. I know from the bottom of my heart, from the depths of my heart, that no one else could have ever dealt with the stuff that I put you through. And for that, I love you dearly, and I'm extremely happy that you put up with me and that we're here today finally moving forward in our life the way that it was intended. For the rest of you who are watching, I want to share some stuff about my wife that you guys don't know. I know that you guys have picked up on little pieces here and there of our story. You know that I had an alcohol problem, and an addiction problem, and that Danielle was a codependent and stuck with me through all that. But a quick little story about the strength that this woman actually has so that you can understand why I'm so deeply in love with her is we met when we were, I believe, 16. I would make fun of her in math class. And one day I was working at a grocery store. Danielle worked at Wendy's across the way. She showed up. She showed up with a Wendy's milkshake and kissed me in the parking lot, and the rest became history. But what Danielle didn't realize at that point in time is I kind of had a double life. I was into drinking, I was into drugs. I was infatuated with trying to be a gangster, probably from watching too much MTV, like a lot of these kids today. Seeing stuff and then just trying to act out on it, not really knowing where it's going to lead. But it led me down a really bad path. And Danielle didn't know that I had this other double life. She just knew me as the funny guy at school who wore surfer clothes and Cypress Hill hats, and she didn't know until I up and left and went to San Jose. And when I left to San Jose, she found out everything that I was in. But shortly after my run to San Jose, I went into rehab for 30 days the first time to try to get clean and sober. And when I got out of rehab, guess who was there? Guess who was there with open arms to take me right back in, despite everything that I had done, everything that I had put her through. Miss Danielle was, Slot Queen, Miss Aragon. She was there, she took me in. And the journey was pretty much stayed the same till I was 27, off and on drugs. I would relapse and leave Danielle for maybe a couple weeks at a time and then just show back up. But she just kept showing love to me. She kept supporting me. She kept taking me back. She kept believing in me that one day I would be healthy and I would be the man that she's always said that I would be. She said that because I was nice to old ladies and I opened the doors, that she believed that I was a really good man in my heart. No one else believed that. Most of the world had turned their back on me. A lot of people had given up and were like, Alan, he's done. That kid's he's too deep. He's not coming back. We had children at a young age when we moved to Sacramento, and the cycle just kept coming. I would be around. I would get a job, and then just one day I would just not come home, and sometimes for months at a time. And in that time, Danielle would have to work and pay the bills and take care of my sons and and all the stresses of everyday life that is supposed to be taken on by two parents ended up being on the shoulders of one. And sometimes she didn't have a job when I just split and took off because she just had a baby, or she was at the end of her pregnancy. And I would do these types of things because of my addiction, not because I didn't love her, but because I was just completely wrapped up in drugs and alcohol, and I wasn't capable of breaking free from that at this point in time. This thing cycled, like I said, for years. At about the age 26 was the last time I left Danielle. We had moved from Sacramento to another place to kind of get a fresh start. I'd gotten in some trouble here, and we needed a fresh start. And Danielle's whole family was telling her that she needed to leave me, and if that she didn't, along with other people, that they weren't going to have anything to do with her. And I could see where they were coming from. You know, they loved Danielle, and they wanted what was best for her, and they knew that I was very toxic and very bad at this point. She had 3 sons, and I was missing in action. Who knows? It was just so sporadic. I would just take off, and she would have to hold down the fort. But she just did it over and over. From 18 years old to 27, this woman just kept doing this and doing this and doing this, and fighting for me and fighting for our sons and fighting for our future, even though you couldn't even see the future at that point in time. The only future that was really there was at some point in time she was going to get a phone call and I was dead. Thank God that didn't happen. But at about 26 years old, like I said, we moved to get a fresh start, and I got a job, and the same thing happened. One day I just relapsed and I didn't come home. I took my paycheck and I left Danielle and the boys homeless. And for those of you who know how that works, you know, you end up in places you don't want to be, whether that's standing in a line trying to get money to be able to feed the boys, searching for a place to live, and then Danielle running around trying to get jobs to be able to support the boys while I'm just running the streets doing my own thing because I'm numb to the world because of my addiction. In that time, she ended up moving in with my mother. Thank God my mom took her and the boys in, and Danielle used that as a stepping stone to get her own place and take care of the boys. That last time, I was 27 when I finally stopped. So it probably started when I was 26, and about 27, I had made the decision that enough was enough. I was broken. I walking the streets and pouring down cold rain. I decided to go to rehab, and I went to Mission Teens Rehab, a Christian rehab in Humboldt County. And when I knocked on the door that night that I chose to do this after being gone for 3 months and leaving Danielle homeless with our sons, guess who answered the door? Arms wide open and taking me in. And the next day helping me get everything done that needed to be done to be able to get me in rehab. And guess who came and seen me when I was in rehab or wrote me letters all the time while I was in rehab for 5 months? Miss Danielle, you were there, babe. Strong, fighting for something that nobody else wanted to fight for. You believed in me. You came. You took me in. You fought for me. You drove. She would drive. I believe it was 6-hour round trip to come up and see me. I believe for an hour. Or the visitations. She would pack the boys up and she would drive up to the top of this mountain in nowhere land to see me while I healed. But the story doesn't stop there. You would think that I would get out of rehab and I would come home and I would just go back to the working world and I would take over all the duties that a husband and a father are supposed to take care of, but that's not what happened. I came home and Danielle continued to work while I stayed home for a year. At home for a year with my boys, continuing to heal and learning how to be a part of the world without getting back into the disaster that I was in that kept causing havoc and ruckus in our life, in my boys' life. So for a year, Danielle worked while I stayed home and took care of the house and took care of the boys. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking that I'm a really weak man, and you know what? I was a real weak man until I found Jesus. And I changed my life and I allowed him to take over and start trying to serve him. I was extremely weak. And I thank God that he took me in and changed me for that reason. After that is when the story really begins. I started to grow. I went back to work and Danielle started to become a supporter of me becoming a new man. But that's just a quick little story of how strong Danielle was. We're talking 17, 18 years old till 27. We're talking 10 years of our life together, of the 21 or 22, sorry babe, years that we had together, where Danielle constantly fighting and fighting and fighting to stay afloat while I just caused mass chaos in her life. Danielle, I love you. You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. And I'm so happy that I get to share a little bit about us and how strong you are with whoever's gonna watch this video and see how much I love you and how strong you are, and that you're more than just a button pushing slot queen who's building slot videos and entertainment for people. That deep down inside, you're a woman of extreme strength and love and dedication. And I've never met anybody, and I've told you this before, I've never met anybody that has as much fierce love and dedication towards a family than you do. When everybody else counted me out, you were there. Battery jumped up. When everybody else counted me out, you were there. And when I wasn't there, you took care of my sons. I'm forever indebted to you. I love you. I hope that one day, after all the things that I do, that I could be half the person that you were the first 10 years of our marriage. I am so grateful that God put you in my life, that God created you to be my partner. I am truly, truly blessed. I hope you enjoyed this video, honey. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a blessed day. And after this video ends, there'll be a couple pictures and maybe a few things from your sons. I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife is top-notch, cream of the crop. She's the pure gold that rises to the top when you heat it up. She is an amazing, amazing woman. And as we go down this journey of YouTube and slot machines, I've said it before, I'll say it again, we're more than a slot channel, and you'll learn that. Peace.
Hi Mom, happy Mother's Day. I love you so much, and I hope that your day is going extremely well. I hope that you're relaxing and just getting the rest that you need for an eventful evening. Can't wait to have dinner later this evening when I get off, and happy Mother's Day. I love you.
Hey Mom, aka Slot Queen. I just want to wish you a happy Mother's Day and tell you that I love you and I appreciate everything you do for me. Driving me around, lending me money, bringing lunch to me while I'm at school. I just appreciate it all. And I know I don't always tell you, but it really means a lot. And I hope you have an amazing day. And I love you and you're the best mom ever. So happy Mother's Day.
Hey Mom, happy Mother's Day. I just wanted to say that I love you and I appreciate everything that you do, and I think it's awesome how you and Dad can just go out, have fun, record, and upload it to YouTube, and you have an awesome fan base that supports you with everything you do. And I just want you to know that I support you, I'll always love you, and happy Mother's Day. Love you.